Hey there, friend. Come sit down, grab yourself something. I've been carrying this one around for years, and tonight I'm finally letting it out. I was halfway through Voltaire at the Silver Palm in Las Vegas when I looked down and saw a folded piece of paper on the piano that hadn't been there 60 seconds ago. Listen, if that was all, a piece of paper on a piano, I wouldn't be sitting here with this knot in my chest. What was written on it changed my whole night, and the person who wrote it was sitting somewhere in that room watching me read it. The Silver Palm was a mid-strip joint, 300 seats packed on a Saturday. Stage sat 2 feet off the floor, close enough to see the sweat on a man's forehead. Write in the comments, where are you listening to this story from and what time is it right now? The Palm Sevens are gracious make other nigo plays many. There was a matchbook sitting on the piano edge when I walked on. Somebody had left it there. I pushed it aside without a thought. I opened with, "Ain't that a kick in the head? Good energy, warm crowd." I leaned in and said, "You're a gorgeous crowd tonight." Don't tell the Tuesday people I said that. A woman near the front yelled, "We love you, Dean." And I winked at her. "Sweetheart, I love you too, but my lawyer says I gotta stop telling people that." Big laugh. Everything felt right. Then Volare. Second verse, and I saw the paper, folded once, tucked under the piano lid. My piano player, Eddie, nervous kid, always tapping his knee, glanced at it and looked away fast. Too fast. Why would Eddie look away from a piece of paper like it had teeth? I'll come back to that. Full of sevens. I didn't stop singing. You never stop mid-number. But I reached down during the bridge and unfolded it with one hand. Small handwriting, blue ink. It said, "Mr. Martin, I came tonight because I wanted to hear something beautiful one last time. When your show is over, I won't be going home. Thank you for the music." No name, no seat number. 300 faces became question marks, and I kept singing, mouth on autopilot, brain going cold. I had 5 songs left. 5 songs to figure out who wrote this. The smell of cigarette smoke hung thick, mixed with perfume and gin. Stage lights pressed heat on my face. I started scanning for someone sitting alone, someone not laughing. Table 6. A woman, maybe 40, dark hair, blue dress, untouched drink, hands in her lap. She wasn't smiling, wasn't frowning, just watching from behind glass. Remember that? Table 6, blue dress. It's going to matter a lot. 4 songs left. I caught my bassist Mick's eye during the intro, tilted my head toward Carl in the wings. Between choruses, Mick drifted to Carl and whispered. Carl looked at me. I nodded. That nod meant, "House manager, now quietly." Mick came back and leaned in. "Carl wants to know if this is serious. Tell him it might be the most serious thing that's ever happened in this room." "You're scaring me, Dean." "Good. Stay scared and stay sharp." I worked the crowd. Pointed at a guy in row 3. "That tie is something else, pal. Your wife picked that out, or did you lose a bet?" He grinned. "She did, and she's right here. Smart woman, hold on to her." Big laugh. The room was alive, and somewhere in it, someone was freezing. I could feel that note in my pocket like a stone against my ribs. I need you to understand something about me. My job was making people feel good. Walk into my show, forget your troubles for an hour. That's the deal. But this note said someone had come to say goodbye, and I was the soundtrack to their last night. That changes how you hear every note you sing. During the piano break, Carl relayed through Eddie. "House manager wants to know what's going on. Tell him someone in this room needs help. Put 2 guys by the exits. Quiet." What kind of help, Dean? The kind where we don't get a second chance. 3 songs left. I felt the clock like a second heartbeat. Victor, the house manager, positioned 2 men by the side exits. Nobody noticed. My eyes kept pulling to table 6. She hadn't moved, hadn't sipped, watching me with an expression I couldn't decode. Not sad, not angry, just still, like she was waiting for something to be over. You ever look at somebody and just know something's wrong? That's what I felt watching her. But here's what I missed. A man at the bar near the back, mid-50s, gray temples, nursing bourbon, had been watching table 6 the same way I had, and he looked scared. Not nervous, scared. Hold that thought. I finished the 3rd song. The last chord faded into smoke. For a moment, nobody clapped. Nobody moved. Just ice settling in someone's glass and the low hum of the air conditioning pressing in from every direction. 300 people breathing, and me standing in the middle of it, holding a secret none of them knew. 2 songs left? Danny, my trumpet player, muttered during a rest. You okay, Dean? You look like you saw a ghost. I'm fine, Danny. Keep your eyes open. For what? Anything that doesn't look right. 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 Anything that doesn't. I took water from the glass on the piano. Steady hand, I made damn sure of that. Inside, I was running out of time and no closer to an answer. I went in to return to me and scanned the room again, table by table. I started watching hands. The note was blue ink, so someone had a pen. I checked the tables near the stage. Nothing. I looked further back. Nothing I could see under these lights. Mick sidled over during the bridge. Dean, you've been watching this crowd like a hawk all night. What's happening? Can't tell you right now. Just trust me. I always trust you. That's what scares me. Here's the thing about performing. Up there, you can see everyone, but you can't really see anyone. The lights flatten everything. And I realized, what if the person who wrote that note looked exactly like everyone else? What if blending in was the whole point? That thought hit me hard. I wasn't looking for the person who stood out. I was looking for someone trying too hard to disappear. Between songs, Eddie leaned over from the bench. Dean, the woman at 6. She hasn't moved once. I know. Is it her? Something about her isn't right, Eddie. I feel it. I sang the last verse of Return to Me, looking right at table 6. She held my gaze like she was daring me to see her, and I felt a chill that had nothing to do with the air conditioning. I finished the song, stood in the applause, and felt nothing. Everything looked normal. That was the worst part. One song left, the last song of the night. The bartender flagged down one of Victor's guys and pointed toward the back. Something was happening at the bar. Victor's voice came through the earpiece. Dean, man at the bar, gray hair, tried leaving through the kitchen. My guys held him. He's shaking. Is he talking? Won't stop. Says he needs to find somebody before it's too late. Relief. Real relief, the kind that loosens your knees. We found him. Shaking, desperate, trying to escape through the kitchen. He fit everything. But wait! Remember table 6? She was still frozen. I pushed her out of my mind. We had our guy. Hold him, I said. Gentle, 2 minutes. He's calm but shaky. Says he'll wait. I told the crowd, even I need to powder my nose, folks. Got the laugh. Don't go anywhere, I added. I'll be right back. A man in row 2 called out, We'll wait, Dean. I set the mic down and walked backstage. But here's what I couldn't have known. The man Victor was holding wasn't the person who wrote that note. Not even close. Victor had him in the service corridor, red eyes, shaking hands. He keeps asking for his wife, Victor whispered. He's getting agitated. Let me talk to him, alone. I walked up to him. Hey, pal, you doing okay? He stared at me. I need to find my wife. Your wife? Table 6, blue dress. My stomach dropped. The floor tilted. I understood. He wasn't the note writer. He was the husband, and he'd followed her because he knew. His voice cracked. Something's been wrong for weeks. Tonight she told our daughter she loved her 3 times before she walked out. I'd had him pulled away from the only person who might have reached her. What's your name? Richard? Richard, your wife wrote that note. We need to talk to her together. He grabbed my arm. Is she okay?
She's out there, but she needs you right now.
His face crumpled, quiet, like a building settling. She gave away her mother's ring this morning, he whispered. You're here now. That's what matters. What do I say to her? You don't have to say anything, Richard. Just sit with her. Let her know you came. What if she won't listen? She will. She wrote that note because she thought nobody was watching. You being here proves someone was. He straightened his tie, automatic, the way a man does when he's trying to hold himself together. I'm ready, he said. Give me 2 minutes on that stage first. I walked back through the service corridor. Victor was at the stage door. You sure about this, Dean? Walking down there in front of everyone? It's the only way to reach her. And if she runs, she won't. She came here to be found. She just doesn't know it yet. You know what I kept thinking? All the shows where I never found the note. All the nights where maybe someone walked out into the dark and that was that. But tonight I knew, and I had one song. I walked back on stage. Notice I said one song left. This was it, the only number that mattered. Folks, I'm doing something different. I'm coming down off this stage. Eddie, something soft. Eddie started just piano, half tempo. I stepped off, walked through the tables. People smiled, thinking showmanship. But I was heading for table 6. I got to her table. She looked up at me. I sat, sang soft and low just for her. The room went silent. I set the mic face down. What's your name, sweetheart? Margaret. Margaret, I got your note. Her face went white. You weren't supposed to read it until after. Well, I did, and I'm glad. Your husband is here. He followed you because he's scared. She whispered, he wasn't supposed to know. People who love you always know, I said. They might not know the words, but they know the weight. I walked to the stage wing. Richard stood there. I nodded. He walked out, sat beside her, took her hand. She put her head on his shoulder and broke, and he held her, because sometimes silence is the only right thing. I picked up the mic. Eddie was crying, wiping tears off keys. One more, Eddie. Which one? You know which one. He played You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You, half tempo, like a lullaby. I sang it to the room, but really to the woman at table 6 and the man who followed her. Wait, remember that matchbook I pushed aside when I walked on? The one that meant nothing? I looked down at the piano, picked it up, flipped it open. Inside the cover, same blue ink. Forgive me. She hadn't just come to hear music. She'd come to apologize to me, to the room, to whoever found that matchbook after she was gone. 2 words. That's all she thought she was worth. I stood there thinking about every stage I'd played, every crowd I'd made laugh, and wondered how many times someone in the back row had 2 words in their pocket that nobody ever found. The room applauded, soft, the kind with wet eyes. Victor appeared at my elbow. Someone trained is coming down. She'll sit with them. Good. Don't rush them. After the show, I sat in my dressing room, tie loose, jacket off. Eddie knocked. Dean, you okay? Come in, kid. He sat rubbing his hands. Eddie, did you see that note before I did? Long pause. I saw her put it there during the opener. The way she pulled her hand back slow, like letting go of something, it scared me. I should have said something. Don't carry that, kid. She's not alone tonight. That's the only score that matters. I kept that matchbook, a little cardboard thing with 2 words inside. It reminded me that you never know what someone's carrying in their quiet. Sometimes the only thing between a person and their worst night is somebody who pays attention. Weeks later, Richard wrote me, Dear Mr. Martin, Margaret is getting help. She talks about that night, the man who sat at her table and sang like she was the only person in the room. She kept the note. It's in a drawer now, a reminder of how close she came and how far she's walked since. I've got plenty more nights like this one, pal, some funny, some wild, and a few that sit in your chest and never leave. You want to hear another, tell me in the comments. Same chair, same glass. And if you know someone carrying something heavy tonight, reach over and let them know you see them. That's all Margaret needed, just to be seen.